Well, I want to say hello and welcome. It is another episode here on Astrology Obsessed. I am Fox Red Sky, your astrologer, and hopefully you're a journeyer on this rock called Earth. And yeah, we are kind of trying to finish up this mini series that I was doing on astrocartography. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. And I really wanted to talk today about Pluto lines. And the reason for it is because I've seen so many of my beloved ones go to these lines, and it feels like they're thriving, and then bam, things explode and crash. And the thing about that's the thing about Pluto lines is it's if you are looking to experience a deep, profound transformation, then go to a Pluto line. Now, again, not everybody's going to have the same effect as you, because it really depends on your personal chart. Myself, I'm a Scorpio. Yes, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio, and so Pluto line. I'm used to the transformation, y'all guys. I'm transforming all the time, So I don't necessarily mind going to Pluto lines, but let's kind of talk about each line and what they're bringing and what is the themes, right? So the overall theme of Pluto energy is transformational, healing, and if you have any fears in the back of your mind, going to a Pluto line is like bringing those fears to the forefront and giving you an opportunity to look at them. So if that's not something that you want to do, or if it is something you want to do, well, then go to a Pluto line, because that's what you go get. So we'll talk about the four different types of Pluto lines. You have your AC and DC, and your MC and IC. So we'll start with AC. So AC, of course, is ascending, right? So this is the image when you're meeting people just randomly, like say at a coffee shop or downtown. You might give off like a persona of someone. Maybe we shouldn't mess with this person because like you kind of give off this like kind of like, I wouldn't say thug energy, but you definitely give off this like kind of gangsta energy for sure of like so you're going to attract different types. And because of that, it's like some people are going to look at you and think, wow, this is a really cool, powerful person. Other people are going to be like, no, I want nothing to do with you. So, again, it's an interesting line, and on every type of Pluto line, though, the keyword is transformation. So you're going to be able to give people a transformation when they come across you, and you do develop friendships and you do develop acquaintances. They're going to be transformed by you. The second line is the descending line. So these are the types of people. So this is how ascending is how you're affecting people or how you're being perceived, and your descending Pluto line is the types of people you're going to come across. So you're going to come across a lot of scorpionic energy, my loves, when you're on a Pluto descending line. And that and I also realize a lot of my friends that kind of talk to me as their astrologer, as their friend, that have been on Pluto descending lines. It's a tough line. If you're not ready for it, just don't do it. Just don't. I say do it because I'm a Scorpio, but I like it a little rough. Um, so yeah, so descending lines, Pluto and descending, you are attracting sometimes partnerships that are going to give you these huge transformational experiences, but will leave you either better or worse, depending on your reactivity, right? Like, and depending on the level of healing that you've already done. It's a lot, y'all guys. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot. So it's not for the faint of heart. I would never say it's for the faint of heart. If you're down to like do some shadow work, go to a Pluto line. Okay, so and again, like the theme is for all Pluto lines is transformation. So next we have our MC line, which is what you'll be known for or your persona. A lot of people that I know who've gone to a Pluto MC line had massive success and then massive failure in public. And it was like, it was right there for the world to see. And it's like, no. I definitely think that if you're going to be on a Pluto line, maybe go to an IC line. So it's a little bit more or less public. But, it's whatever your choice of poison, it's it's however you like it, as someone I know would say. So yeah, so Pluto MC line, it's again, an MC line is your public persona. So this isn't necessarily people that you even know, right? Like this is just going to be your reputation in the community, on the internet, in the world at large, right? So these are people who are kind of speaking your name before you ever enter it, and it's with Pluto energy. And if you've overcome your fears and if you've overcome um, and you've done a lot of shadow work, a Pluto MC line can be magnificent. This is where you can receive your most ultimate riches and wealth and be able to excel, basically leave your legacy in the world, or your failure. One or the other. And that's really on the work that you have or haven't done, Sometimes we choose the easy path and we think, oh well, this is the easy way, what do they call that? I forget what it's called, but it's like, I'm just gonna do love and light, I'm just gonna love and light your way, right? And then when stuff goes tough, like especially if you're on a Pluto line, that's gonna be a little bit harder. So for those of us who've done a little bit more digging and deep, more have a little bit more awareness, going to these Pluto lines don't have the same, you know, massive effect because we can roll with it. We can roll with the punches. The last MC line or last line, Pluto line I want to talk about is an IC line. And IC lines are just that. It's your private world. You're not having your stuff broadcast to the world. But again, these are dangerous lines if you haven't done your shadow work, because you're going to do it. You're going to do the shadow work on an IC Pluto line by yourself. And I find that these lines can be a little bit worse, a little bit suicidal thoughts can manifest, you have to be kind of mindful of that. Also, like, you have to be mindful that, like, on a Pluto IC line, that your inner critic might, or your inner fears are coming out and you're just like alone and you're kind of like left with your own thoughts and stuff like that. Or, if you're kind of bringing your family to an IC Pluto line, like, y'all could start to kind of implode if there's any underlying issues, people, that you haven't been looking at, and you've just piled it up with distractions or alcohol or anything that would prevent you from really, really seeing what's inside. Well, that's gonna come to the surface. It's gonna come to the, and it's not a bad thing, because it's like, once you've faced those inner demons, once you've dug in the soil, essentially, then your true path and your true power and your true potential can now surface, right? Because if we live a soft life, and I'm speaking this to a lot of people, if you live a soft life, yeah, it's great, but like, it's only in our deepest suffering, and I sound like such a Scorpio right now. It's only in our deepest suffering that we can know and appreciate our truest joy, And not that I wish I don't wish anyone suffering on the planet, but like, if you can go through fire and you can survive, you can come out stronger than ever. And those are the rare diamonds. Those are the diamonds that get made in the rough. So yeah, Pluto lines, they're hard, man. I mean, I've watched so many of my friends like go to a Pluto line, and if they have any unresolved work that they haven't looked at or faced at, childhood wounds, insecurities, anything that's rattling around inside your body that you haven't looked at, you will be taken to the pinnacle of success and then dropped off a cliff, and it's pretty painful. So, but sometimes, like, that's how we have to learn, is through the hard lessons and not the easy. The universe is always trying to give us the easy way, but sometimes we want to pick the hard way. Anyway, so that is a brief kind of overview on Pluto Lines. If you have any questions, please always contact me on my website, on YouTube, on my podcast, whichever medium you've chosen to digest this. Wherever you are in the world, I'm sending you lots and lots of love from my heart to your heart. I hope that you are exactly where you need to be in the world.